What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing amazing. Today, I want to come on here and talk to you, do some real talk. I think we're going to have it like Talks with Tanya. All right, we're going to do like these Talks with Tanya. Tomorrow, we got the Minding My Business starting up again for the new year. Got a powerhouse guest to start off January. But today, we're going to be talking about why you might never get the results you want and why you might be in the same position 1 year from today of what you're struggling with now, like why your habits are not sticking. So what's up, everybody joining me tonight? This is a hot topic. A lot of you guys set those New Year's resolutions and I've already messed up on them. I know, because I get it. I've set some as well. I was like, I'm going to go to bed at like 9 p.m. and then it's like 11 o'clock. Yeah. But every day counts. All right. So you guys, here we're going to talk about this. And I had a session with the client the other day and a big light bulb went off. And so I want to share the core topic with you today. So good morning, good evening from Florida. In the comment box, what I want you to do is just drop your comment as far as like what is something that you have put on replay for this year that maybe you set in 2022 and you did not achieve it. Maybe you set a really big goal for 2022 and it was not achieved. So you can go ahead and drop that in the comment box below. We got a really, really cool things happening this month, a free challenge. It's going to be a habit starter challenge. But today I want to talk to you about a concept and I want to know what you guys think about it. Sometimes I'm going to be share segments of this book that I'm writing and I would love your guys' feedback because this book is really for you. It was a really big financial investment. It's a very big time investment and it's really to leave a legacy. So if these concepts make sense for you, please put your comments below. If they don't make sense, put your comments below because this helps me then be able to go back and figure out a real great way of explaining them. All right, so why you don't get results. Everybody talks about getting results, but nobody talks about the backlash of not getting results. And so we're going to cover that today. So why you don't get results. When you're on the path, and let me know if this resonates with you. Let me know if you guys get this. When you are on this path of like, okay, I'm going to hire a coach or I want to establish this new habit, and you invest in a program, you invest in a coach, and then you're in the process of it. And then you see something else or somebody else doing something differently than what you originally signed up for from this mentor, from this person, from this strategy of how you're going to take your business to the next level, how you're going to take your health to the next level, how you're going to take your relationships to the next level. And then as you're already in it and you're committed, you're like deciding maybe you need to change course. And you haven't even executed on the game plan. So type yes in the comment box if this resonates with you. If this resonates with you, if you started something, you're already invested financially, emotionally, energetically, and during the process, you're like, oh, well, this is done another way, and maybe that's how I have to do it. And you lose trust in the process of you taking your body, your business, your relationships, whatever you're trying to go to the next level. All right. It's completely normal. Let me tell you right now. What sets us up to fail is course correcting when we have not followed through with our previous commitments. And this comes back to lack of trusting yourself. And even if you trust your coach or your mentor or the program when you originally signed up for it, and this is where accountability comes into placement. Self-accountability, accountability from your support system, from your inner circle, from your circle of people that you've invested in. Yeah, very interesting. And how I learned this is right here, me. But the big part, the coolest stuff about self mastery is you actually see yourself and you call your BS out. What I've found is a lot of people that don't understand how to recognize their habits and their behaviors, and they make up stories all the time, because my friend Renee's on here and he'll tell you we lie to ourselves every single day, let alone how can you expect to tell the truth to others when we're constantly lying to ourselves every single day, right? Right, Renee? Renee's a body language expert. And so the biggest thing about this is like, I learned this by having a really amazing coach when I was doing shadow work in my early 20s. And I was learning how to, at this point in my life, overcoming addiction, I had mental and internal imprisonment. And I did not want to be a slave to my mind. I did not want to be a slave to my feelings. I did not want to like have this happy-go-lucky, optimistic, like extrinsic, but internally I was angry all the time. I constantly was doubting myself. I constantly was self-abusive with my self-talk, and I was not on my own team. I did not have my back. In fact, I betrayed myself all the freaking time. And I was just tired of living like that. And so I had to seek out a coach. And for me, I personally like will do whatever it takes. If I know that I need support and I'm going through things that I don't want to share with other people, I will hire a one-on-one coach. And so during that time, and I do believe there's placements depending on where you are financially, whether it be groups, masterminds, inner circles, or one-on-ones. That's why it was really important for me to create all three. I had a woman I've worked with, and I still work with till this day, and she's a dear friend and still a mentor to me whenever I'm going through stuff. And in my early 20s, and she taught me, and she would call me out, and I was so angry at her. And it really taught me so much about the power behind being honest with ourselves and not projecting the reason why we haven't reached our body goals, why we haven't reached our financial goals, why we haven't reached our business goals. But there is a process to every single successful system. And sometimes it's going to take you 3 years and not just 3 months. And the way that a lot of these like audiobooks tell you, or these books, and they tell you you're going to 21 days to form a habit, that is complete BS. Habits that become lifestyle things, that become your new normals, which is effort on autopilot. It's you no longer need the mental energy, the mental effort to put your complete focus and attention on a new behavior, because that's what a habit is. A habit is effort on autopilot. That then you can convert that energy and you go through the movement and it becomes your new normal. Can take 8 months to a year. And so when we can call ourselves out and be able to have that accountability and that support and that follow through, and you give it 6 months, 8 months, a year, that's where you really get to see all those seeds that you've planted, the harvest. You get to reap the benefits of what you've planted, but you have to make sure that where you've planted it is an enriched soil. And that means you. All right. Sometimes there's going to be a lot of like cleaning up and enriching your soil before you're really going to see these seeds blossom. First, the roots have to be planted and then they sprout up. And so when we're hiring somebody or bringing somebody on, and you start to get into this like ping pong of projecting our past into our present. So when we go to move forward and we're like, oh my gosh, this is a person that's going to take me there, or this is a program that's going to take me there. And I say this because right now a lot of people are starting to look around on where they're going and who they're bringing on and who they're hiring and where they're placing themselves, where they're going to be harvesting, where they're planting their seeds to harvest. right now in their life, whether it being human performance, whether it being business performance, whether it being anything. But remember, how we're performing as a human being is going to impact how we're performing as a business owner or as an employee or as a coach or as a this or as a parent or as a significant other, whatever relationship you're getting into, whether it being a business relationship or personal relationship, an intimate relationship. How we do one thing is how we will be doing everything. And so if we are not trusting ourselves and the processes of what we've invested ourselves into, or the people that we said originally, okay, maybe I don't feel strong enough to get myself there yet, or maybe I don't trust myself enough to get myself there yet, but that person is going to help get me there. And then trusting that if you don't yet trust yourself, you know that you trusted to put yourself in the right positions to have the right ecosystem that's going to take you to that next level upgrade so that you can receive your blessings. But here's what happens is it does come down to you, because wherever you're planting yourself is only going to be that 1%. 99% is going to be on you. And that comes down to taking personal responsibility, the follow through, and showing up. But the mental chatter, I want to let you know, is completely normal in the process of change. I saw an article today and they're like, change is easy and this and this and this. Change is not easy because you have the confliction of the mind. If you follow through and you have no resistance and you've had no past experiences where you failed or face planted or sabotaged yourself, then and you willingly and receptively are going all in on that, then maybe. But for most people, from my understanding, is there's going to be a very big confliction of the mind that's going to feel like a ping pong of projecting your past into your future. And every single day, through the power of free will, you're going to choose to show up regardless. All right, so go ahead and type yes in the chat box if this is resonating with you. This is a really deep concept. If this is not resonating with you and you think I'm just blabbing away and not making any sense, you could just be like, Tanya, like, what are you talking about? But if this is hitting you and you're finding this really fascinating and this is resonating with you, makes sense, I just want you to say, yes, I get it. Okay? So there's this internal fight and dialogue of not wanting to jump around because of the hook to the stimulation. Here's another thing. I had a consultation with somebody the other day. Very fascinating. Very, very fascinating. We're talking just a connection call, a complimentary consultation. And she was talking about how she's been stuck. She's been in a rut with her business. There's been no growth for the last 2 years. She's hired business coaches and, had mentors and is reading all this personal growth and development, blah, blah, blah. She has not invested in one-on-one coaching. She just did like group stuff and stuff like that. But she wanted to take her business. She wants to grow. She's seen no growth in the last 2 years. And I was like, okay, great. Well, what have you done? Just trying to see patterns, because everything happens in patterns. And if you're really great at what you do, you have to pay attention to detail in everything. Because like I said, how we're operating personally is going to impact how we're operating in business. And that's why sometimes a lot of people come to me and they're like, oh, I heard you took this person's business to a completely next level, because we took them to the next level personally. Which those little holes in the business were holes in the human being, which ended up clearing out. I just want to keep you guys on point with where I'm going with this. So I was like, okay, well, do you have any addiction, any substance abuse, any this and this and this? How do you cope with your pain? How do you process like overwhelm? Just understanding habits, behaviors, how you handle pressure. All right, things are great when things are great, but how do we handle things when they're not great? This is like what I do. And she's like, oh, no. I was like, what about your family lineage? Do you have people that have had drug addiction or have had any form of addiction? She goes, yes, I come from a family history of where there's alcohol abuse and this and this and this. Okay. I'm like, okay, that's like a flag right here. So maybe there wasn't the person, because seeing families, maybe you're not going to process it, but addiction comes in also ways, different layers of processing. What happens is it's a high to stimulation, and you can be a stimulation junkie. And that's why, coming back to the core of this, why you don't get results is because people are jumping around in too many different avenues because you get bored. And one thing to understand in the process of true transformation and sustainable growth, it's boring. Like, people are like, can you like journal your day? It's pretty boring. Like, I get up, I work out, I meditate, I make breakfast, I take a shower, I get dressed, I work on the computer, I have coaching calls, I'm building things out, I'm getting in meetings, and then 8 o'clock, I shut down, shower, face care, skincare, meditate, go to bed. Like, literally, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Like, any successful human being, there's certain rituals, routines, and habits that are non-negotiable. It is not fun all the time. However, you can have different things to cycle through. Like, your training doesn't always have to be the same exact workout. So you could cycle through things and have different forms of meditations and different forms of exercise patterns and different, had a food cycle, and like having different coaching calls with different people. Like, so the systems stay the same. The plugin is where you can have options. And then you start to carry out the pattern. So going back to this, she's like, okay, well, that's where the issue needs to be addressed, and so when we go back to this internal fight of the dialogue of wanting to jump around because being hooked on stimulation. No time to word. Yeah. So, but there still even has to be a routine with traveling, because I'm going to be starting, actually, I'm traveling on Wednesday. My travel schedule starts up again for my speaking. And so, Renee, like, I know you travel a lot, different time zones and this, but there still has to be certain things in place as non-negotiables to still be successful, to still be healthy, to still be mentally sharp, to still have certain things. Like, there's still systems in place within moving compartments. And so there can be things, but when it comes to actual, like, establishing a new habit and establishing a new personality trait of being a high-end achiever and to be successful, or to not be up and down, yo-yos up and down, yo-yos up and down, have money, no money, lose weight, gain weight, like this and that. Like, there, you can still have a steady state, and then there's still systems in place. There's still a certain routine. There's certain rituals that are still non-negotiables. They might shift a little bit, but for the most part, the highs and the lows will no longer be there. But getting back to hiring a coach and not getting results, or why you don't get results, is you have to understand that sustainable, true change and transformation can take anywhere for almost up to a year. And so if you choose a path, and you're in the process of investigating the right program for you, do your fact checks, and really look into seeing what is, yeah. And so just go ahead in the chat box, you type in accountability. We're going to be doing something really special for you guys in the beginning of February. In the goal setting workshop that we did earlier on, we said the statistics showed, which was really crazy, 80% of people will, 80% of people don't set goals. And out of the 20%, 16% will have already relapsed on their goals by February. And so it's just so crazy. So that means only 4% of people even follow through. my goal is to like make sure that we increase these percentages of people actually setting goals and starting to believe in themselves again, because I do believe that comes back to past experiences, because our goals are literally our forward movement mindset. It's our target. It's about putting in a end destination in our Waze or in our GPS of where we need to go in life. And if you have no focal point and if you have no focus, you're going to not have any drive. You're not going to feel like you're living life in fulfillment or in purpose. And you're just going to be drifting, and you're going to be easily persuaded and diverted, and other people are going to control your life. And that's just not okay, because I used to be on that side at one point in life, and it was miserable. And I just did not want to be here anymore. And that's why the mental health and stuff like that is just such a thing. But anyway, we're not going there today. Not going there. Here's what also happens too during the process is like, it's not like, you know, people have goals and they're measuring it based on numbers or logistics or the amount of cash flow coming in. When it comes to your human performance and the way that you're performing as an individual, how do we measure that? How do we track it? How do we measure that we're making progress in our performance? Especially when we're like, does this even matter? What am I doing? Like, is this even something that's making a big difference? Like, will it matter if I eat a cookie or 2 or 3 and I'm trying to like be in my best shape ever? Like, will that matter? It's just today. And then tomorrow happens. It's just today. Just today. And then it's like 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals the end of the year. But yeah, every single little thing matters. And so when you're getting back to having a way of measuring something that cannot be measured, how do we measure things that are almost seem like impossible to measure? And who makes up these rules anywhere? And who determines what success is anyway? You determine success. You define success. And a lot of these things, when it comes to human performance and how you're performing as a human being, and am I making progress in my performance? Sometimes you're not going to be like, holy crap, I made so much progress until, like I said, a year later. But then even that's questionable. It comes back to trusting the process. But how can you trust a process when your past experiences have shown you that there have been broken systems? This all comes back to, if you don't yet trust yourself enough to know that you've brought in the right support system, you've joined the right inner circle, you've joined the right mastermind, you've joined the right community, you're watching the right people. So how do you know what trust even means? Trust is felt. Trust is not something that can be rationalized. The mind is programming the heart. And a lot of people don't know what trust is because their heart is so numbed out and blocked based on past experiences. So if truth can only be recognized and never learned, which is in A Course in Miracles, and it's recognized through the heart, but your heart is blocked because your purpose, your passion, your vision, all this resides in here, there is a way of opening it up. And that even comes back to science called heart math and then reprogramming stuff. So a lot of this stuff I had to learn because I had to figure it out on my own. And you get to decide every single day how you want to operate in life. And I get it. There's a lot of crossroads. There's a lot of cross currents. There's a lot of things that are going to try to divert you and distract you. And that's why every single day counts, and how you're performing, if you understand, like, what is it that I value? Because what you value is what you're going to prioritize. And a lot of times, all of this work of finding a steady state, because Lisa's talked about a roller coaster, like life could feel like a roller coaster ride, comes back down to getting your mind right, getting your head right, and doing everything you possibly can to protect your mind. But in order to protect your mind, that means we got to take care of our body, because our body, an unhealthy body or a diseased body, is going to dull our mind. And if we dull our mind, we're going to doubt ourselves. So meaning we're not even going to have our own back. And if we don't have our own back, who do we possibly expect to have our own back? And this comes back to why I don't get results. Why I don't get results. And that comes back to, oh, well, this isn't working. And then you're going to go over here. And then you're going to go over here. And then you're going to go over here. And you're going to go over here. So today I just want to bring awareness to you. This is a big section inside of the book that I'm writing. Yes. Wow. Definitely get to bed, Renee. And so this is a big section I want to talk to you about. It's really, really important, especially if you're somebody that is trying to, number one, figure out how to measure results. Because sometimes when it comes to growth work and how we operate as human beings, it can be very challenging at times of how do I measure my progress? How do I measure the results I'm making? And why am I not getting results? Not getting results because I'm addicted to stimulation. And it might not be substance abuse, but it might be products, programs, and courses. And I don't give myself enough time, and I'm not measuring my accountability in order to follow through with it. And I don't have the right support system. I don't have the right accountability, but it all comes down to first learning and recognizing and being honest with ourselves and how we're showing up. And if you yet don't know, and that's where coaching and masterminds and inner circles come into placement, to bring awareness and to give you the tools and the resources that you need in order to see these things until you start to see them on your own. All right. So I hope this hit your heart. It's a big thing for a lot of people. And my job is to bring awareness to you and also provide support. And we are having a 5-day challenge coming up in February. So keep your eyes and ears open. But in the meantime, until we have the link up and ready, which will be sometime this week, you can message me accountability. And we will, when it's up and ready, I'll send you the link in case you miss the lives, but you're here today. And I'll send you the link so you can register and sign up for it. And we're going to do a 5-day habit starter challenge, not a restart, because we're not trying to restart anything. We're trying to build the new, we're going to build the new. So I'm going to teach you strategy systems and provide you with solid ass resources. I don't know if I can say curse on here, but solid resources that are going to be game changers and very, very simple, not overwhelming, not overcomplicated. And we're going to do this program together. We're going to have a accountability group. We're going to have a Facebook group. And it's just going to be really cool, really fun, and just something to get you up and running. And in the meantime, we did start the Inner Circle. So if you still want access to the Inner Circle, just type in Inner Circle and message me that. But message me today if you did watch this live stream. The link is not ready yet, but I just wanted to share with you something that I talked about inside of my book and see if it made sense to you. Because if it didn't make sense to you, then it means I would have to go back to the drawing boards and make sense out of it, because these concepts are really powerful, but they don't mean anything if you don't get it, because this book is for you guys. So message me accountability. I want into the 5-day habit starter starting in February, and message me Inner Circle if you want. If you still want in, the doors are open to our Inner Circle, which we meet every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern. We have a closed Facebook group, and we meet through Zoom every single Thursday. So sending you guys so much love. And actually, the link is www.tanyascioliver.com/Inner Circle for the Inner Circle. I believe it's still open. Okay. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you.